Yes, people. What's going on? Welcome back to United View. Welcome to another episode of the Red Carpet. Shout out to James coming through. Shout out to Dev coming through. KG the comedian is coming through as well. He was just upside down. Shout out all the Stranger Things guys. He was in the upside down. He literally he's all right. There's a thumbs up there. There you go.
There you go.
Are you out? You came in upside down. That was wicked. Came in in the upside down world, bro. In the Stranger Things world, bro. So you just come through.
What's on your jacket? What's on your jacket, KG?
Ted Lasso.
It's my Ted Lasso, man.
Look at that.
Yeah.
A real football club, huh?
Yeah. They run better than us. Man. Yeah, KG, you literally came right through as the intro kicked in. So everyone's locked in. We're here. Big up to each and every single one of you, man. Smash a like on the video, man. We're down. We're down bad. We're down bad. There's no other way of dressing it up. Obviously, we're all feeling the apathy. We're all feeling the emptiness. We're all feeling the lack of guidance, the lack of direction, all of these things, innit? But one thing we do know is it's been a big sort of development over today, back end of yesterday, but definitely as of now. It's the Ollie thing. It's not the Ollie thing. It's the Carrick thing. It's going to be Michael Carrick. That's going to be our new interim manager. It's going to be Michael Carrick. I know there's a bit of an embargo going on over the next 48 hours, so that's going to get announced soon. Let's open up the floor. Michael Carrick. What are we saying, fellas? What are we saying? Who wants to kick off proceedings?
I like it.
Wait.
I like it.
Wait, no one wants to kick off proceedings.
I'll take it. I'm okay with Michael Carrick.
What are you saying, James?
I mean, look, it's all within context, right? It's a shit show. It's a disaster. He's still better than the alternatives that we were talking about here. Michael Carrick's at least been in a job the last few years. He's been employed. He's been coaching. He's been managing.
Ollie was at Besiktas sooner than him. I mean,
how many months was he there? And the other 2.5 years before that, how many months?
Yeah,
he was in a job, Carrick. He was in a job, but I mean, just from a simple standpoint of, I don't even know why it was a discussion. I brought up at the beginning of this whole thing a week ago that there was going to be a bit of a problem with coaches. I remember when Ralph came in, we ended up having a guy calling in to AirPods man from Russia because we couldn't get the coaches in the door, and he was having to give instructions from the broadcast because we just couldn't get enough coaches in. And I'm thinking, we just lost our entire coaching staff, 6 people, and we need this. We need somebody to come in who's actually going to run the training ground, not to take a bird's eye view. And at very least, that's what Carrick is doing. I also think that, in a good sense, even though I have monumental concerns over everything right now, I don't think that any of the managers we should hire are available at the moment. You can maybe force somebody out from one of these smaller clubs like Glasner or Iraola or something, but we shouldn't be doing that right now. We really shouldn't. So in that sense, there's some positives, but the grand scheme of things, it's kind of ugly at the moment.
Yeah, I think the weird thing is, if Michael Carrick had a bit more of an exuberant name, or if he was a bit more flamboyant, I think everyone would be kind of gassed. He'd be like, oh, this person's come back, that person's come back, but he's seen as a bit of a boring alternative. But to be fair to him, he's got his credentials. He's come in. He did a good job at Middlesbrough for a good time there, at a time when no one really expected Middlesbrough to be challenging for promotion or any of these. He got them right in the thick of it, and he did it with a pretty young squad with not much transfers to have to deal with there.
Like Morgan Rogers, Akpom,
exactly. He developed some good players coming through. Hackney before, this season, he's kind of fallen off a cliff sort of without him, and it's nice to see all the players that you kind of mentioned with Rogers and Hackney. There was a couple of others, but midfielders tend to express themselves under him. So it's going to be interesting to see it. But I think I said at the end of the last show, it was a bit tongue in cheek, but I did say don't go back to an ex with regards to Ollie, and it only because with his interim stint, you're not going to get much better than that. So the only way down really for you from there. But also, it came out today. I don't know how much of it is true, but that Ollie wanted an idea that he could become permanent manager or that he could get there. Whereas Carrick, there's a line drawn underneath it where there are going to be quite a few vacancies in the Premier League this season, like kind of at the lower end of the Premier League, like not lower clubs, but like Glasnow's going to leave Palace and there's going to be a few other opportunities for him. So I think he could definitely land on his feet within the Premier League after this. We saw Rude. He had 3 games here. He got the Leicester job and it didn't go well, but was a good opportunity. So I think for Carrick, it's you know,
it's a no-brainer for Carrick. He's obviously going
to. It's great for Carrick, and I think for us, like it's what we needed was a bit of a steady Eddie right now, just to kind of someone who talks well, because that's one thing Ruben did have. He had a velvet tongue and he spoke well. Carrick is, you know, he knows the club well and he has some good credentials in the Championship. Let's not act like it's not a good league. The Championship is a competitive league and more competitive than where Ollie was coming from the first time. So if we're comparing that, you know, it's not the worst thing in the world. And I think it's nice that they're clear. This is interim. Come in, do your job, and then bounce. But as we've seen with the Amorim thing, Ineos didn't have a contingency plan, and that's my biggest problem. So let's hope that they've got one for this. It remains to be seen, but that's all I think about. They're buying themselves a bit of time to get it right, but they've got to get it right, and I'm not sure they will.
They are definitely trying to buy time after, you know, not expecting to have to sack Amorim so quick. KG, what are you saying on
I'm still disgusted, man.
Not Amorim
I'm still
Carrick.
Oh no!
So disgusted, he's off.
He's gone.
Disgusted, like
He's
even the internet.
He's fed up.
He waited for his moment to say, "I'm so disgusted." He only come in to say he's disgusted. Like, I think his thing's rebooting. Let me take him out for a sec. I've got an eye on it there. He's only come in to say I'm disgusted. Yeah, he's gone. He's gone. He's going to reconnect. And that's it. Do you know what? I'm going to be honest with you guys. I haven't even. So you guys were sort of doing the football bit about like we are in this situation. So what will it actually look like? I've with KG and as you guys have been like, I'm so pissed off. I'm so angry, so empty at the same time that I haven't even allowed myself yet to get there yet. Do you know what I mean? Like I haven't allowed myself to get to break down what that actually looks like. Do you know what I mean?
I'm not
like,
really ready either. Like I accept it,
but you have to, though,
I have not moved
tomorrow.
on, honestly. And it's not about Amorim. It's about this whole mess of just
everything.
I'm still sitting here going, so Ruben's gone. What about everybody else? Like,
exactly.
Why is this not going to just happen again?
Bro, and
KG, you're back.
Yeah, I'll say a few things. I'm disgusted, man, with this club. Like, honestly, like, and there's so many things that I'm pissed off about. I feel the fans are at the lower end of the issue because they're just upset in it. The fans are like,
it's emotional.
you can't blame the fans for the situation the club is in.
Fans are blaming other fans though.
No, but that can be allowed. No, that's gonna happen because everyone's frustrated. I understand everyone fighting because like there's
chaos.
Equal argument for everything. Do you know what I mean? But what you do have to say is it is the issue with Man United and where there's been no realism when talking about this club. We are not good. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're not wicked. We haven't been good for a very long time. And yes, we finished 15th last season, but obviously expectation went up, but the talent and all we had didn't go up. We're the same. And that's the hardest part for everyone to really realize, because even now you're hearing, I've heard all the pundits and, ex-players, there has to be a Man United way. There has to be this, there has to be that. And these are the things we need to talk about, because where was the quarter? When we'll say, hey, AFCON, you've lost Brian and Mbemo, you've lost you lost Ahmad, you've lost De Ligt, you've lost Maguire. All these players were gone. There was no breakdown or understanding of this has happened at this club. It was just get on with it, excuses. And then now you're looking at this team. I'm hearing for the first time they're like, you lost to Brighton's B team. I've not heard any B team talk this time because we don't get to use that and say, hey, this was a B team, this, that, and the other. But it's just not realistic. And then now we play a system. We go back to a system that we all recognize under Ten Hag. And what happened? The donut showed itself again. And that was do you know what hurt me the most yesterday? It was the fact of we've gone back to a system that everyone knows, everyone loves, but it doesn't work. Because what we tried to convince ourselves in being angry with the other guy is this was better. No, it wasn't. It wasn't better. We sucked. And now all that happened yesterday was there was no control. There was no all the things that I understand and have seen and said, you know what I told you about? I'm seeing green shoots. Because forget the Carrick situation. It's not even about Carrick. Carrick is here for a short term. So I don't even want to talk about Carrick. That's minimum. All Carrick needs to do for me is get me some type of Europe. But what we need to talk about is this club and how there is an expectation without reality. There's expectation of we're Man United, we should be doing this. But guess what? Those things are not there. We piped on, play the youth, like, and bless Lacey the other day. Like, that's what happens. That's what happens. We're calling out saying do things the Man United way. Well, guess what? Some of these lot are not like typical Man United youth. Now, you got one or two, but you're never going to get a class of 92 again. And the problem is this club is we're weighed down by the history. That's the truth. We're weighed down by who we think we are, and we're not that anymore. That's the honest, and guess what? In this time, and I don't want to be right, but in this time of us switching the system, going back, we're just going to see what we've always known is the truth. We are lacking and we still need investment. And those guys upstairs, if you want to now get into the upstairs talk, they told me they're buying players not for a particular person. So why are we not operating in the window? The window's open, guys.
Yeah. Because they've done this, it's taken all of the thing away from the window where we're not even talking about transfers.
Well, no, but the whole plan of having a sporting director was it doesn't matter who's in position, I can still do my job. So now all of a sudden we're waiting for what? You have a style, a way of how you want this club to play. You have a philosophy and a plan, regardless of who's in post. And this is why that is total bullshit. They don't. There is no plan. There is no plan. There is no whoever comes in, they're going to listen to, and then they're going to start again. That's what's really happening. That's all. So when anyone says, I'm not sure a new manager is going to want to work under this regime, no, they are going to work on it. It just says coach. Nobody still knows what they're doing. Because we should still have. Do you know what will make me more relaxed? If I saw Man United going and bringing a winger or a defensive midfielder or a centre back, that will let me know. Oh, guess what? The plan still goes on regardless of who's there. But we're not making them moves, and we won't make those moves this season, this window. We're not going to do nothing.
For me, I hit everything you're saying. 100% agree with. And for me, you know what else would give me hope is if I saw this same Sir Jim who's tried to rule with the iron fist, cutting jobs, cutting this, cutting that, went, do you know what, Jason? You're shit, actually. Fuck off. Like, do you know what I mean? Do you know what, Omar? I thought it was going to be great because you came out of City. It's not right. Right, let's get back to it. The guy from Atletico Madrid, or there's a guy here, there's a guy there, Sporting guy, he's done this. Let's leave Sporting. But do you know what I'm saying? Whoever the next guy is to try and headhunt because they've had their chance. They've had 2 years. Omar Barada, by his own admission, does the 2-year thing for players, bro. Where the fuck's your 2 years? You've had 2 years, and every single decision you have made, all the big ones, you fucked it. Badly. Whilst telling us we have to save money before we're going to go bust. So all the money that we've saved to go bust have been spent on your mistakes, bro. On you guys' mistakes. So if Sir Jim is that serious, even more than players, I'll be honest, even more than players, I want to see some level of consequence at that level. If you want to continue to work with this framework, because the problem that we've got is, even if we buy players under this regime with these guys, i.e. Wilcox, Barada, Vivell, all right, he's worming around, he's doing okay, that's fine, I hear that. But the big guys, Jason Wilcox is on wax, bro. He put it on 12-inch vinyl dub plate and said, the problem with me is I meddle with the managers. That's what I'm on. Gets me into trouble sometime, but I'm a coach at heart, and I just say too much. And we've seen it
even got his badges. I mean, he's acting like a coach. I don't think he has his badges, does he?
I mean, who cares? Where is he coached? You know, he's a less experienced coach than Ruben Amorim by far.
And
He's
this
a less
is the
experienced
biggest
sporting
problem, bro.
director too.
So I'm saying, and this can sound a bit defeated. It can sound like, come on, man, football's cyclical, Flex. Come on, I get the fan thing of like, it's everything's rubbish. It's going to be rubbish forever. As long as they stay making the decisions at our football club, I'm saying it don't matter if they go and buy us Baleba tomorrow. It don't matter if they get Anderson in. Like, I still think that they will make bad decisions. I still don't trust them to make the right decisions. And what will happen is then all of a sudden we get to this time next year and we're going, raw, look at Anderson, man. Fucking hell, I thought he was good. I thought, do you know what I mean? On top of the Man United tax that just exists.
That part
they won't just be able to just buy good players because they're not going to get the right managers to make it work.
Well, no, because it's all about you saw their faces after Wolves.
Mm-hmm.
You know what they're saying in the stands. And both of them look like they were in serious trouble. Like they got caught with their hands in the cookie jar. They look like our time is short. The same way they know this is the football business. It's ruthless. Now, this is what gives me a little bit of hope, a little bit of peace of mind of knowing Carrick's not getting a job. Because that can never happen.
No.
Michael
Apparently he's not getting it anyway.
He's not getting a job, but I'm glad that's happening. Because right now, this window is going to be a very interesting window when it comes to available managers. You're talking Glasser's not my option, but Iraola. You're talking about Xabi Alonso's just now available. You've got a lot of guys that are now Tuchel, potentially. You'll see what happens. Nagelsmann. There's a lot of managers that are going to be on the market. Man United, go and get the best one because this could work. I like the fact that we've had football people in there having a certain conversation with clubs. You need people that already have relationships with clubs so you don't get ripped off in the market. That's some of the things you do need.
It just shouldn't be Jason
now,
Wilcox.
you need someone that is looking at player contracts and making sure that the books make sense. We've been those are the steps that you're having from the upstairs. You need those things. We've been crying out for a sporting director. We have one now. This is the growing pains. And the problem with us with Man United is every time it goes wrong, we just want to tear it out and act as if, guess what? This is it. This is the part of it. He's going to...
Don't you think a lot of this that's gone on is the obvious? You could have asked any one of us on here and said, should you renew Casemiro? No. But they considered it. You know, you could have asked anyone on here, should we ship these players out? Yes, absolutely. You could have asked anybody who's a United fan.
But we haven't done that, though.
No, you're right. It's better. And there's a point here of like, obviously it's better than Ed Woodward and John Murtaugh because they dug this club into a £1 billion hole in debt into the market, into the credit lines, and it was at the bottom. And it's easy, you're right, to throw the baby out with the bathwater and say that nothing has happened and nothing has changed and nothing has been improved. But as to Flex's point on this as well, I think what I would look at is the hardest things to get right, they've got wrong every single time. And so that puts us at, all right, we've moved from being run like the worst in England. We're no longer run the worst in England. We make some good transfer decisions. We make some good contract decisions. All right, now we're a mid-table club. We're mid-table in reality. We're mid-table where we finish. We have mid-table directors. We have mid-table executives, and we're making mid-table moves. Okay?
I don't think we have that.
Maybe
we are mid-table. We're mid.
But look,
I don't think we do.
We're a mid-table team.
We are a mid-table team.
I mean, look, but
the people up above, I think they're worse than that.
But they want to be. No. But they want to be. That's the part that they don't get. We are a mid-table club. You talked about being weighed down by history and all of that. We are a mid-table club right now. It's been 3 years. The league table doesn't lie. We finished 8th. We finished 15th. We're back in like 7th or 8th. We'll probably be in 10th after the next 2 games. We've got City and Arsenal. We are a mid-table club, and they think we're not. And they keep trying to make decisions as if we don't have to claw out of that mid-table environment. When you look at how Arsenal did it, when you look at how Aston Villa have done it, it's not like this. It's not what we're trying to do, how they climbed up the table. Not even Newcastle. Newcastle went out in a market, I think, when Saudi came in and bought like 6 players in one window. They just said, all right, we're just going to buy a bunch of decent players, rebuild this squad, help it get on his feet, get us to where we need to be. We're still sitting here saying, need the perfect guy. We're 2 players away. That's what Paul Scholes said he's heard Wilcox say on his podcast. Just a couple players away. We're almost there. They're acting like we're on the verge.
We're nowhere near. Yeah, we're nowhere near.
And look at what's coming out today. What's coming out today? Oh, they feel there's a golden opportunity to Champions League. Are you dreaming? Are you dreaming? Right? They're talking about how there might be an aim for Carrick to get into Champions League. It's a reality. They're dreaming. They have no idea where we are right now. They need to get
some level of Europe. No, and that's the thing. That's the argument again, because if that was all clear and true and understood, then you wouldn't have sacked Amorim.
Yeah.
You knew you wouldn't have sacked him. If that's it, you're not telling me right now you get rid of a guy. This is the thing why I'm not giving Ineos a pass. They could never get a pass because they have made bad decisions. But we've done this before. We got rid of a manager and brought in a new one, and it went to shit. This manager didn't tell no lies in how he approached it. He said to everyone, hey guys, I play the system. This is my system, and this is who I am, and I expect to manage no matter what. He told us who he was. So how you dare not be surprised at what Amorim was saying, but then you lot moved ahead anyway. And then after you said, I wanted him to change it, this, that, and the other. Right now, Man United need to make sure that they still find themselves getting some level of Europe. Because that 48 hours that they had an argument ruined everything, really. Because I still believe, guys, that we could have beat Brighton if Amorim was in charge. People might not want to hear that. I honestly believe that, because you can't tell me that what I saw was old school. I saw Ten Hag United. I saw no midfield. I saw no control. I saw all the shit that I hated about this team before he got it. Yes, you can, because we beat them before, Flex.
No, we can't be saying that about Amorim.
We can't do this, bro. This is the
problem. No, but you can't leave that out. You can't leave that out.
We beat them before.
Uncomfortable truth.
No,
we can't leave that out.
We beat Burnley earlier this season too, by the way.
With the football that we played, you lot can't now say, in certain games that, because we'll use games to say, hey, we'll use Grimsby and say, we lost to Grimsby. No, but I'm saying right now, look at the way look at the way we lost. You can't tell me that was the worst performance in terms of we weren't even going forward. I heard it was quiet in there. I heard there was a library in there.
I was there. It was there.
Yeah, it was there. But
what we can't do, we're acting like we can't. Bro, I've been to all the Amorim games as well. It's the same.
I don't think you can say we could win, but we changed for nothing.
Guys,
we agree on this point. Hold on a
second. I'm not going to lie.
Amorim,
let's say this whole era that he's had he has no right to be put on any kind of pedestal, because for every good
pedestal though.
No, but it's like if you say he beat Brighton, bro, he lost to Grimsby. He drew against Wolves. He lost against Everton with 10 men. His own man slapping him. He lost that game, bro. And I'll be real. Watching that Everton game, he threw on a centre back at 70 minutes. So it's not as if we're like I'm not saying
we threw on Casemiro and Maguire down 2-0 again.
That's what I'm saying.
What I'm looking at is that I think what KG is saying here, fine. Like maybe you say you couldn't say we'd win with Amorim, but the fact of the matter is what the last couple games have shown us is that everything he said was still correct about what's wrong with this team. Darren Fletcher comes out. He's been in the job for 2 games, and he sounds like Ruben Amorim. These players are fragile. If they don't want to be here, they're not strong enough, that maybe they should go. He sounds exactly like Ruben Amorim, 180 minutes at the helm, and he's saying the same shit. And we're still bringing on center backs, and we're still bringing on defenders to try to chase games because we don't have a team. So I don't think Ruben Amorim would have a better chance to win those games. We've seen enough. But he was right. This was a pointless exercise to change right now. It was pointless. We've gone sideways. Now we're playing different. So now we're playing 4 at the back, and it's just as inconsistent as 3 at the back. And none of it's changing.
It's worse.
None of it's changing.
Let's tell the truth. It's worse, guys. I've seen that's what pissed me off the most. I looked at us and I said, oh my God, I recognize this team. Yeah, you can say before.
We all saw it. We all saw the Ten Hag donut.
I looked at it and I goes, oh my God, I know this team. This team, I've seen it. We'll just attack after attack. And then I heard the stupid song, attack. And I was thinking, oh my God, guess what? We're back.
We were singing that under Amorim. No, we were saying attack in certain games under Amorim. But I was there saying it.
Flex, while we said that, you can't deny we were creating more chances. We were.
Bro, against Burnley with Darren Fletcher, we just had 30 shots on goal. It's the same thing.
It was still half the last time.
No, but even in that year, we were meant to. Bro, that's supposed to be the new manager bounce. Of course you should be creating. You lot got a new guy, so you're going to try and play for the new guy. But then what happened in this game? The energy was gone. How's the energy gone in the exact next game? You can't tell me that's acceptable. That's not. And for the people that are telling me, because when we're saying, there's quality in this team, now there's no quality in the team. What are we talking about?
I've seen more people
sit
begging for transfers that a week ago were saying, nope, you've got to make do with what you've got. You've been here 18 months. You got to adapt.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want to. Flex, my thing is for sure, is we had a better chance. Yes, we were inconsistent, but we had a better chance with my man than we had with Fletcher.
Yeah,
and
no, I agree.
I
agree with that. I agree with that in terms of basically because you've changed everything again.
Yeah,
you should have just left it to the end of the season.
We're just wasting time.
All that's happening now. Listen, here's the bit. Again, it gets confusing, right? And then like things. This is why it's so annoying to talk about. It happened. I was done the fan roundup at the end of yesterday, and we all got in this kind of thing where we can't. It's really difficult, yeah. So here's what I agree with you saying when you're saying like you sacked him with no plan. You sacked him with no plan, and the plan is to have Darren Fletcher, who's never managed before, as an interim for a couple of games before you go and get the actual interim who has managed before, whether that's Ollie, whether that's Carrick, whether that's whatever it is, but it's going to be Carrick, yeah. So on that front, yes, of course, if you just leave them, but then the measuring stick of just leaving them, what I saw trying to happen, and I sort of spoke about it today, is that we're trying to do this thing of like, not necessarily you asked for this because you wanted Amorim to leave. No, bro, no, we're not doing that, because then let's just go back to Eric Ten Hag. Then you asked for this, and now you've got Amorim, and 14 months later he's sacked. Let's just go back to Ollie from before that. Let's just keep going back to all the managers. Just because somebody leaves and the next 2 games isn't an instant turnaround with all the dross, that doesn't mean it wasn't right to move on from my man. That does, like, his record speaks for itself. Yes, you're right. The thing that made the pack of decks fall and the Jenga do the drop down was the argument. That's what made the plug pull out. And like you said, it's a build-up of all of these things where he should have got sacked after Brentford, should have got sacked after Grimsby, should have got sacked after Spurs. There's so many times. Should have got sacked when he said he would fuck off. He should have got sacked when he threatened to get sacked. He could have got sacked for all of them things. But he did that. And then it was unsurmountable. You had to sack him. But what's happened is... what's happened is we've lost in the first round of one cup competition with said manager. We've played against the worst team ever in the Football League that we've seen and didn't win, with him going back to his principles that he changed, and we didn't beat Wolves. Okay, now hold on. So then now you're
missing something though. We're missing something though, because while you say that, what we've always spoke about this manager, and the players have got away with it, and it's only yesterday people realize, hold on, these players are shit, and but we now said before we weren't getting the best out of the players. Which one is it? Is it we're not getting the best out of the players, or the players are shit?
But we can't decide after 2 interim games. No, but I can't expect to get. That means
no, but I can't expect, because them same guys, that was like the Grimsby 11. That was the Grimsby 11. Why didn't they do better? Why couldn't them guys? We know them. We recognize them faces. What was wrong with them? We now put in all the players that the people have been crying out for. We cried out for weeks and weeks. We said, and this is not to blame Cobby or anything. We cried out about playing youngsters, playing Cobby, playing the system, all the things that they've said, even the ex-pros and stuff. And then this is what it looks like. Why are they putting in that performance? And because we focus on but we just focus on Amorim, Flex. When we should have said, hey, while Amorim is failing, them players have failed, but it was Amorim's not getting the best out of players. And now we're looking at the players saying, hey, you guys, how are they surviving so many managers? We should have spoken about all of this. No, we wasn't. We just wanted to get out my man.
Because the manager's there. When the manager's there at the helm, he's doing, you're the manager. What we can't do as well is, like, when you're at the forefront and it's your team, it's yours. It's yours. Like,
you both have just said what the issue. You both have just said what the issue is. Like, it's not as in like you guys are showing the issue, but you both have just said, like, all of the fans operate in their own echo chamber. For one, no one's really stepping back and saying it's everything until we get to a moment like this. In the moment, people are choosing the one thing that they find is the most important thing. So if someone's like, oh, the manager's the most important, they'll go in on the manager, players, board, whatever. What's actually happened is that all all of us are right. Every single one of us, and what we said has been right, because no one, and like KG, you're not doing this, I know you're not, but no one's going to ever look at Amorim's record or the way he played football and said that was right. It wasn't. No one's going to look at the players and say this is a good enough squad. They're not. And similarly with the board, the only thing I'm going to say about the board is that in these circumstances that they've joined, these are extreme circumstances, and we know that. That's not me mitigating the mistakes that they've made. They've made massive mistakes. The issue I have is I think the mistake is coming down to two things which should never have been allowed in the first place, which are inexperience and ego. And somehow, this goes down to the players as well. We somehow have egotistical players who aren't good enough, and we now have an egotistical board that's not good enough. So with this problem, it's like, if we said this in the last one, didn't it? If they sacked Amorim after a game, after a bad result, we're like, calm. Like, it's a bad result. You can get sacked. You've been shit. Let's be very honest. You've been crap. However, we weren't really saying this after the transfer window that we had. And we weren't really saying this after the fact that we actually got Ruben Amorim at that time. Because like I said, it tangents off. Had we waited for, like, with a caretaker to get Ruben Amorim in the summer, everyone would have been angry. Should have got him when you said. People are saying now, get the manager you want, don't get an interim. So the board, no, and we know this as fans anyway, the board are in an impossible position because they can't please everyone. But what they've done is somehow, even in that position, they've showed themselves up. Because, like, let's be real, after Ruben Amorim said what he said, I don't think there's any board in the world that would have taken that and would have been like, cool, yeah, let's give him a budget. Let's give him more money. He knew... Ruben Amorim has engineered his own sacking and has done it in a way. He's played an absolute media and PR blinder where instead everyone is almost ignoring what he's done. Not saying you guys have, but everyone's ignoring what he did as a reason to go in and make something else the problem. But the reality is all of them are culpable. So now we don't have the manager and we have to...
I have to push back on that. Go on.
Let me just do these super chats. There's 7
do the supers.
And hold that pushback right now. I'm going to come straight back to you. RK says, next 5 is the derby. Pray. Arsenal, pray. Fulham, good form. Spurs, West Ham. All teams we haven't beaten this season. We're about to go straight to 16th in no time. What happens next season then? No Europe again and no money to get anyone. Larry says, passionate rant by KG for a 31% win rate manager. Worst in Man United history. I really love to hear it. More revisionism is needed. He's making more points than that. That's just trying to look at it simplistically. Biggie the Third says, what were the expectations after just one window coming from the lows of last season? We hired a manager, not a miracle worker. We gave him one window. Again, because they didn't sack him because of results. They sacked him, like Dev's saying, because of ego. They didn't sack him because it's a long process and you might win some, you might lose some. We're 6th. We're joint 5th with Chelsea at the time. I don't know where we are now, but joint points, you know what I mean? Nearly, we're on task to deliver what you asked for. So we didn't get sacked because of that. And that's why everyone's angry, because you sacked him and now look. You know what I mean? Even the people that wanted him sacked. That's why people going, you wanted him sacked and now look. Shut up. You lot are idiots. People saying that are idiots. I'm sorry. Like, you are. I hate that. I hate it because they're acting like you're saying you think that by sacking him, everything's going to be better. No one said that. No one said that. And he didn't deserve to still be. He had a record poor enough to have been sacked. Let's stop rewriting that. And let's stop acting like he should be here good. Like, no. He's poor and Ineos are even worse. That's the truth. Snyder says, thank you, James. Board tanked our season due to ego. Players look hurt by the sacking. Amorim's Deadwood clear-out needs to also be mentioned too. Yeah, he did do that. And again, they will probably be shell-shocked because they came into work and didn't expect him to get sacked. Just how it just happened, just like that. So you have to allow that for the next couple of games as well. Larry says, I wonder if Valencia fans were doing on Valencia View after Gary Neville was sacked. Imagine defending the worst manager in our long history. BJ Ficky says, it's not worse. It's the same. W against Wolves, loss against Wolves.
We didn't lose to Wolves, but, you know. People keep forgetting that. We didn't actually lose games. You know?
Yeah, but if
we actually went from a 50% loss rate last year to 25% this year. But
just a bag of draws. English Talent says, United never did a rebuild. All we do is buying social media players like Euro and Cunha with no plan. Did Arteta buy 60 million players in his first 2 seasons? Like Mike says, I'm confused. KG was Amorim out after Europa. And Suvi says, no one is responsible for our position. We have caretakers and custodians. No one is in charge, LOL. And Yoti says, says, can you all each answer whether you think Carrick has a better chance than Amorim to get top 4 with this squad. Thank you. And that's what we're talking about leaving it to the end versus sacking without a plan, then getting interim, is that this, that, and the other. Carrick says, think Manu is a luxury player. Someone, a City or Arsenal can platform correctly, not where we are, that have a struggling team with a bad mentality. Reba says, some fan channel are part of the problem. Super Art says, lots wished for Bruno to come back and we still lost. Creates chances, yes, but doesn't stay in the midfield and handle his area. Dallo, no words. Again, we're back to the Bruno thing.
Brilliant.
He don't help us. That. But
Yeah, because it's the idiot stuff. Do you know what happened at this club?
We're
Yeah,
just
this is the
cooked to the
pushback I'll
fan
say.
base.
This is what I say with like the point that Dev was making, right? I'm saying that something happened in them whatever 48 hours in terms of Wilcox coming and telling him, hey, you're gonna do this, this, and the other. Wilcox said ain't on the block, yeah, and the man, they knew who they hired. It's like you trying to tell me, hey, KG, be this way.
Yeah,
and you know what you're getting
Show
when
up
you
on
put
time,
me
my
in.
friend, or
I
you're
told you
gonna
who I am. Yeah, I told you. Just imagine I told you exactly who I am, right? And then after you ask for something different, I told you I'm not flexible. I told you this is me. So we have an argument. You told me you're going to do this in your next game. I'm saying I'm not going to do that. Yeah, and that's where we're biting heads because we had an agreement. There was money available before. Now money's not available. I can't build the squad. You now can't. You don't get to say no culpability on me. KT's just moving mad. What happened? How have I got here? And that's what with Wilcox and them man, any us upstairs, they just put their hands up and said, nothing to do with us. Can't believe that guy spoke out of turn. What do you mean? Something in those hours, frustration boiled over and egos. It's 2 egos. Wilcox needs to face the music and say, yo, what the hell's going on? Because I need to still see players. If you're the sporting director, he's gone, but apparently the plan is it's not about the man, because I'm here. So the club never fails because I'm here. So right now, where are those players? That's an issue. Now, so for the people that believe this is just a defense of Amorim, I'm not saying that, but this team needs to remember where we've been. I know that sacking a manager midway doesn't work. It doesn't. And now we've almost put like Carrick into a really difficult situation because yes, I pray he's gonna win, but there's a high possibility he can lose because we know who's there. The same players, guys. It's the same players. So now we get to damage another manager's situation because the squad is lacking. I'm seeing teams. I'm seeing Pep Guardiola fighting for the league, and he's getting more players. There's more people coming in, and they're good. Like, you're seeing Chelsea talk about, let's see what's available in the window, and we're doing nothing. It's not becoming of a club like this. I saw a time when everyone was at AFCON, when I looked to the bench and I just saw Lac Harrington. And I said, what the hell is this? This is Man United. You lot keep talking DNA and this great club and stuff. Well, where's the good players? Because that's part of our DNA. Where's part of the what's best? Where's all this stuff that is important to Man United? It's only, all we want to focus on is the free parts. There should be a guy that knows the place, or this, that, and the other. What about the winning? If you're talking about Man United DNA, what about that? What about the players that are taking the young players through? Where is all of the stuff that's important about this club? But now we're always going to focus on, and now it's like, anyone hearing this rant is just going to hear he's defending Amorim. I'm talking about how this club is run like absolute shit. This club
that's the biggest thing.
It's a disgrace. And even the pros, because them lot all coming back is not a surprise to me. I saw Scholes, I saw Nicky Butt and all them, man. I thought, you know what, yeah, we have to fix this thing because we're always gonna have this issue. And I promise you, them lot better be vocal. Now it's gonna be their friends, whoever's in there. What I've known is the new manager, hire someone from class of 92 and you'll be safe. If you go in there with just yourself, you're in trouble. Hire someone that's a friend of them, man.
But everything
even a new guy
reason
comes
why
in.
it's not going to change. This is why I'm saying, you know, when he's like, if we get a proper manager, we can do that. If we buy players, that's why I'm saying everything you just said there, like you're saying about the people upstairs who make these decisions, bro. This is why. And until we remember, I was talking about that ruthlessness before. Like Ruben was sat, we were doing shows, and I was saying, until they really get properly ruthless, we're not going to get much better, you know. You know, like when you have to really dash out Dallo, you have to really say Maguire, thank you. You have to really say Casemiro, see you later. You might have to go Lisandro and Mazraoui, and maybe if Lenny doesn't work, like the real ruthless, like this is all right, but no other teams are having these, man. Like let's get it, because what we do is build up our squad in our heads and think it's better than it is. That's that's where as fans we are part of that. We do that, and I'm saying
There we go.
I'm there, and
Then
it's
we have
easy
to be
do
better
that
at firming the losses.
There you go, and that's what the proper clear out. And listen, I love Bruno. If that means it has to be a reset, he has to leave. Like I'm talking the proper clear out where you're not having any subpar guys. Like you're just not. Like we can go, he's in good form now. Dog is in good form. He's in good form. But we go required level for being honest. It's not. He's young. I'm not saying like they have to be polished and because you have to let things breathe. You have to let things grow. I'm not saying that, but we have to just get real with a lot of real stuff. Maguire, Shaw, Dallo, Casemiro. You have to look at what's going on with. See how Leacher comes back. Let's be honest. Are we getting enough out of that anymore?
He's been all right. He's been good. He's been good
on the ball.
Good.
But then there's like defensively, he was poor against.
He fell asleep. He fell asleep against Wolves.
He was poor against Thingy, Brighton yesterday. That's
I think
the
thing about this
conversation. Ugarte 7, he needs to go. There's loads of players there. Xerxes another 1, 8. Like you have to.
I think the point that's got to be accepted here is that this is why we are a mid-table team. Like look at the actual squad for a second. You go through it player by player, and so how many players are actually? We're not compromising. We're not sitting there and going, it's okay, but we're excited because Dorgu puts in a couple good crosses and a couple of good games. He's a young player. He's not there yet. This is a mid-table team. It's a mid-table squad. It's a team that probably should finish anywhere between 6th and 10th. And that's really what it should be.
Depending on the rest of the league.
And I think then when you look at that, you go, we were doing that. And that's what makes the whole thing so chaotic. So we talk about the Evertons we didn't win. We talk about the Brentfords we didn't win. We talk about those things. And it's right. We're not going to win those games every game. We're not going to win the games we should every single time with a mediocre team. That's what makes you a mid-table side. You're inconsistent. You're unpredictable. You're going to win games you should. You're going to lose games you shouldn't. You're going to win games you shouldn't. Look, the reality is for every Everton, there's an Anfield away. For every one of those, and that doesn't make it good. It means this is who we are. We are inconsistent. We are a team that cannot put it together. That's what mid-table means. That's what 7th and 8th place teams do. Aston Villa lost to us on the final day last year in their chase for Champions League because they were not good enough and we were shit. And they still managed to lose to us on the final day.
Fresh off the back of Spurs. Next game that was.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. After we just lost the 17th. And we won that game. And that was a final for them. And we had no business being in it. They lost. Why? Because they were still not good enough. They were a 6th place team last year. These inconsistencies are what we should have expected if those were our actual expectations. But we can't see this. We beat Chelsea. We beat Liverpool. We beat Newcastle. We beat Sunderland. These are teams that are probably going to end up finishing ahead of us in the table. Sunderland shouldn't, but, they're still going on a crazy run. And we lost to teams at the bottom. But that's what we are. That's just United. And I don't think we've been able to accept that. And I don't think the hierarchy are able to accept that. I don't think the executives have accepted the reality of our position because they're not moving like that. They're not acting like that. They're acting like we're a Champions League team that's, one more thing on that. You know what they're acting like? It's that guy with delusions of grandeur. They sit in the corner and they're just a temporary non-millionaire. They're a rich guy who's temporarily broke. And that's how they act. Like they're supposed to be this thing, but they're not. And they have not faced reality. And we're dealing with a club that hasn't faced reality. And I don't want to blame the fans. The fans are not, it doesn't matter. We're all going to have our own opinions. But the ex-players, they haven't faced it either. They don't accept where this club is. And they never had to deal with it, frankly. Gary Neville came into a team that was already winning. He didn't see the 6 years that was before that when Sir Alex was there and it was a struggle. He wasn't a part of that. He came into a settled dressing room, a winning team that had leaders, that had all of it. He never had to deal with the struggle. I listened to David Beckham talk about the team, and it's very different. to the way that Gary Neville talks about it when he comments on United and what's happening. Very, very different because he's experienced something different. And I think that this is where we'll fail, is that they haven't accepted where they're at. And I think, to your point, Flex, that's why they won't make proper decisions moving forward, no matter what. They might luck into some things. We might be able to because we're Man United and we've got the name and the money.
That's
maybe. But
you know what it is?
We don't have
They're not
reality.
qualified. Here's my thing. Like, and people can say, oh, yeah, but you gave them a chance and you said this. We told you from the start. Listen, as a fan, and this is what KD talk about, Dev, you've spoken about this before when you've kind of broken things down rationally. Like, I'm not against anyone, like, giving people a chance. Essentially, we were running to the ground under an awful ownership, which continues to happen. But Edward Wood, Murto, Judge, Arnold, you know, those guys, they did that, and they ripped out the whole department. They broke up that whole partnership. And these guys come in and say, here's what we're going to do. Okay, we're going to go and get a football. We're going to put in a footballing structure. First of all, it's 2025. How does a club like Man United not have a footballing structure? We're going to put money into the training ground. You know, it could have been Qataris or it could have been us, but it's us. So we were the Manchester back in Manchester United. All of the cliche, all of the buzzwords, terminology. As a fan, you can't knock somebody for being like, well, let me see what these guys do. Let me have a look. Let me have a look at this thing. Now, listen, the way you assess things, you could be like fucking Dave Brailsford from cycling. My man from petrochemicals, bro. They haven't got a clue. I'm not trusting this. This is a disaster waiting to happen. Maybe you came to that conclusion on the first day and knew that exactly. But you can't knock the people for being like, you know what? We've asked for change for ages. The same people that are cussing us and me for saying like, oh, you did. Been patient. It's 2 years in February. What do I always say about the evidence? New evidence is right, this, that, and the other. It's been 2 years. And what's evident to me in them 2 years is that you're not competent enough at this level. It's the blind leading the blind. We've gone from jobs from the mates from uni and giving the financial bankers this job and the wrong jobs. And then in true Man United fashion, when we're supposed to be getting hold of it, we've gone too far the other way. So we've gone to the buzz names and the buzzwords of the fancy departments are trying to follow suit with people who aren't qualified. KG, if you called me up right now and said, oh boy, listen, Flex, man, get on set, man. I've just said that, like, bro, there's someone turned up sick. Just come and do the freestyle. Come and do the thing. I'm not qualified, bro. I'd probably do all right, actually, at that.
You give it, though.
Probably be all right.
But like, I'm not, but you get it. Like, I'm not. Come do a stand-up show.
You won't understand the technicals.
I won't understand the thing, bro. Like,
Flex,
come in here, Flex, I got money. KG, I got money now, I got money. Here's what I'm doing, bro. I'm gonna go in to Apple Studios, bro. I got the job at Apple Studios. I'm ripping out the department and I'm gonna scout all the people for season 5. I'm gonna scout the people. I've scoured the market for best in class. I'm gonna come back with the best producers, the best directors, the best actors and actresses, the best sound and vision mixers going, KG. I'm gonna do it because I've got bread. And I've purchased 28% of the people who do Ted Lasso. You're going to go, Flex? I hear you, bro. But you're not qualified. I'm not qualified. No, my intention is there. I'm not qualified, bro.
Go on, Dev. You had a point still, Dev.
Yeah.
And then I'll jump in. Go on.
You know what? This is like... I feel weird as a brown guy saying this. I'm going to throw a little grenade in here. But like, I think like... Do you know... I think when... Genuinely...
Wait, Dev, are you going to be good with this one, yeah?
Yeah. I'll be good. But I think like when Ineos, when I look back at all their decisions, I always, and I try and do this really with like most things that I see online now, because my opinions have like changed on a lot of things, a lot of players, a lot of situations. But I always think at that particular moment, I need to think about how I felt at the time when those decisions were being made. And I know people probably say, well, if you're in that position, you should have the forethought to foresee what could happen and all this kind of stuff. And I hear that. But at the same time, how many, like this is on the fan side and specifically on the media. I mean, you guys mentioned like Gary Neville, Scholesy, Butty, like they're all now media people. They're all now on YouTube. They now have to do thumbnails. Like they are going down the clickbait mentality and they are saying things, but they're drawing on their own experience. So we can only draw on experiences as a fan, which really what they're doing is they're drawing on experiences that no longer fit. And I agree with what James said. They don't fit anymore. Move on. It's not that way. Football isn't even run that way. We were the anomaly under Sir Alex and under Sir Matt at the time. So move on. But also fans are kind of drawing on expectations, which delusions of grandeur is one thing, but I also want to just be clear that if we then started moving like a mid-table team, then everyone would have another thing being like, we're Manchester United. So I think my point is on this is like, when we had the summer clear out, I think 8 players left or something like that, and Ruben Amorim was beefing Garnacho. We also thought he could have got money. We probably said he should have kept his mouth shut, but we got what we could have at that time. And then when we brought in Cunha, when we brought in Burma, we brought in Seshko, we brought in Lamans ahead of Martinez at the time, which would have been a typical Murtaugh-Arnold thing. We all said at the time that, yeah, we could have done with the midfielder, could have done with maybe one more in the squad. We all accepted at the time, though, that the situation we had last season with the finances that we've had for so long, it was always going to be difficult. And I know people can easily look back now and say, this person hasn't worked out, that person hasn't worked out. I'm sorry, at that time, I gave it an 8 out of 10 window. I still stand by that. And that's not me trying to back Ineos, and I'm not trying to back anyone in that regime. But when they brought in Vivel, that was a move that we've never seen before. When they brought Jean-Claude Blanc at the top level to have a commercial outlook we didn't see that. They had to bring in a whole new. From that since then as well, yeah, he stepped back from that since then, but they had to bring in a whole new data team, which we hadn't had in 10 years. They had to bring in a new physio team because we didn't really have a medical doctor or something for the last 3 years. So like they had to walk into a lot of shit, and they've waded through it. But this is the only time, honestly, with the Amorim situation where I looked at it at the time and I said, you made the wrong call. All the other times, though, I haven't really been able to look at it and immediately say that was wrong. So it's like hindsight is a beautiful thing. We can all see that. But now I'm just looking at it. I'm thinking all these things coming out with Wilcox and all that kind of stuff. I genuinely believe that the disagreement with Amorim is the last thing we should probably say on him, because we're just going to keep going back to him. But I think that with him, I think it was the straw that broke the camel's back. I think he engineered his own sacking. He was terrible anyway. He played a blinder. I do genuinely feel that way. But now it's like they've almost in a single move made themselves look more incompetent than what the other decisions were. Like, I don't think the signings have been poor. I don't think that the youth recruitment intake is poor. The finances have been dealt with better. The contract situation is better. We could be in quite a positive, like, financial setting in the summer if we end in a decent way. So I'm not going to go and say they're all terrible, they're all this, but they've shown themselves up so massively in this particular area. We're now looking at everything else with a bit of a shitty stick. And I don't think it deserves that. I think those decisions, some of them were good. However, this particular one is so bad. And now, unfortunately, they're going to have to crawl themselves out of a deeper hole that they themselves put them in. But I'm not going to say that all of their decisions have been poor, because at the time, we were giving them their dues and I feel like they deserved it. So I'm trying to be fair on that side, being like, hindsight's 2020. But when they made those decisions, I didn't disagree with them. This is the only one that they've made that I disagree with the manner and the timing, but that's all I disagree with. So now unfortunately, they've dug themselves a hole and they're going to have to get themselves out of it. But fans, I think, won't give them that, because they're painting them like they've been shit this whole time, as in like this shit this whole time. I don't think that's true. And
let me just get these super chats out. 2 seconds. Yeah. Dwayne says, the reality is with United is dead. We're mid, but the players got to have some shame. Can't throw the season when their guy gets sacked. Runner says, do you think he was sacked for them disagreeing, or the presser outburst? Hard to believe managers and directors of footballs don't have disagreements. Yeah, the presser was the final straw, because once you say that, you make it clear that you have to sack me. Super Art says, on the real, I knew it would be Ineos out in 2 years. We are turning into Nice 2.0. People ignored the signs. Their profile isn't good. That's true. Their profile isn't good. Press Resistance says, till the point people believe that some other manager can perform better with these players, this club will continue to fail. Isaac says, new recruits are bad too. Cunha, Yoro, Dorgu, etc. And a lot of people getting onto Cunha recently as well, by the way, saying, what's happening there? Well, you've bought this guy. He's stacked for 10 positions, suits 2 10 positions perfectly. Now we don't play 2 10 positions. You're playing him off the left. He wants to be in the middle. Now the squad's in balance. You sold all the wingers. Again, looking at the ownership again, but let's not act like Cunha's not a good player, but it's the profiling of what happens when you get the player. What does it mean? Billingham says that James, I seem to vividly remember you saying we had the best front three in the league. So why are you now complaining about the squad quality?
You only play with 3 players on the pitch. I forgot about that.
Kenny says, so we're one win a month team. That's not mid-table. And Mr. Olodair says, please explain to me what the work of a coach is. I understand the players aren't good enough. Can we say we haven't hired the right manager?
It's both. That's the shitty thing. It's both.
Red Pete says Nostalgia FC. Madrid fired a manager, and within 5 minutes they have a manager. For real. What are we doing for FC? Quick question to the panel. What is the United DNA? Well, the new manager is there as well. That's
Arbeloa, bro.
It's not
imagine we got Alvaro Arbeloa. Like, don't.
Oh, he's the next player as well. They've just done a Carrick.
Exactly.
No, they haven't hired somebody. I mean, Chelsea moved real quick, but that's because they've got
within the organization.
People.
They've ordered. It's just promoting a guy from the flipping Greenwich store and putting him in the Harsden store. Like, that's it, bro. It's the same thing. Mike Hill says, one point that needs to be made is the players didn't want Amorim sacked, which means they didn't down tools. They actually tried and were still awful.
That's not a reason to sack them. That's kind of the whole problem, bro.
Yeah, Red says, Enios ethos best in class. Where's the proof? Larry says, quick thoughts on Cunha. Shocking thus far. We ain't even got time to do the Cunha piece, but it's all before Amorim got sacked. We were doing a couple little. Can we just have a little look in and you got a Cunha, and now it's like, oh look, he's rubbish, and we're here again. We're here again.
Do you know
what
we can't be mad at though? Do you know we can't be mad at though? You can't be mad at point scorers, bro. I've realized that. Let people score points, because when it was, and this is the thing, that's what I said, bro, whatever side of the thing you want to be on it. Because when it was, why are you backing this manager, you had to face the music and answer those questions. Well, guess what? Now it's the new system. Man, them are point scoring. We're not gonna say stop point scoring now. We've been keeping score, and guess what? Someone else is now holding the tally and saying, yo, show me.
Wins or
because
loses.
We knew that from the beginning, but no one give a shit. No, because I've had to be here. I've had to be here, and they say, what does progress look like? And I say, I've seen some progress. You know what you have to do? You have to face those, and they will tell us why. And you spend the whole time saying, and then the whole chat saying, nah, this game, that game, this game. Yeah. Well, guess what? The shoe now is on the other foot. And I'm telling you, I'm petty enough to now say that I'm going to point score. I'm point scoring, bro, because I'm looking at the thing saying, if you
I'll be honest.
No, I'm not getting tired.
I'll be honest.
I was waiting. Can I just give you this one? Please. I've seen people tell me about defensive substitutions and this, that, and the other. I saw a defensive midfielder and a centre-back come on when we needed 2 goals. Yeah? And I said, if we're going to keep score, but then I heard the cheeky people say, but this is all he had. We tried to say that when AFCON was there. He didn't give a shit. Said this is Man United. Win the fucking game. We're keeping score. We're not going to stop scoring. We're not stopping scoring now. Sorry.
What does it lead to? What does it lead to?
It's just how it's YouTube. Unfortunately.
I'd be honest, man. It's tempting. I mean, you guys have been here. You know the amount of personal shit that
I do all the time. Yeah. It's true.
It's the game.
Every time I get on here, you flex Owen is going, James, I've been seeing your face all over Twitter again. What's going on here?
Yeah,
and I'm sitting here going, well, fuck you guys, okay?
Yeah.
Even that, James, you don't end up winning. You don't end up.
I know, but I didn't do it.
You're the guy said you asked. You asked for this. You asked for this. Yeah, I did ask for Amorim.
That's my favorite one.
I did. You asked for this, but did I ask for Amorim to be sacked and please replace it with Darren Fletcher for 2 games?
No, but we have to hold it, Flex. You don't get to. We have to hold it. That's what I'm saying. When we're now
the same way you're going to do the point scoring,
we're saying to the Bruno,
refrain from holding anything. They can fuck.
No, we have to, bro. You know how we've been talking to the Bruno outers? That's point scoring. When Bruno's not been involved, and then they said, "Hey, listen, still lost the game though." They're point scoring. We're all keeping score. Let us continue to keep score, bro. But the man them that said, because there's a lot of them, bro. There's people that told us Thomas Frank will be a better manager. Postecoglou will be a better manager. There's all of these people, bro. We all exist. And you know why? We're fans that don't know what we're talking about. We're just like the pundits. We're just like the players, bro. We're going to be like this, but we have to, hopefully now, we all realize, guess what? We're back to phase one again. No, Flex. We are back at the beginning again. And now, everyone set your new parameters of what you believe that looks like. Do you believe that is Europe? Now me, I'm going to say, I'm allowing Carrick, give me conference. It's that low of conference. Anything below conference is a failure. You don't get me conference, you failed in your interim job. Is that fair?
What do you expect from Michael Carrick, though? Like, what do we...
No, there's quality in the squad. Because Amorim's not getting the best out. No.
It's 4 at the back. We're platforming the players now. We're
DNAing conference.
What, so we're saying that Michael Carrick
is getting rage debated? Like, I actually know you lot are joking. I'm still getting pissed off.
Or are we saying that Michael Carrick is an adequate replacement for Amorim?
Are we saying that we should get fourth? Wait, so we can't get fourth? Can we not get fourth? I'm not saying fourth. No, not fourth. Sorry, conference. What's conference?
Seventh,
sorry.
You're saying we can't go for seventh? Then what was the question about the manager?
Then we shouldn't have changed anything. Then we shouldn't have changed.
Yeah, that's what we were saying. You said,
but you agree with that, Flex. But to be fair, you agree with that. This is pointless right now. This was pointless.
No,
even though you weren't an Amorim guy, this is pointless.
Yeah. No, but for the others, for the people that said we can definitely get, because I'm not asking for top 4. I'm taking me right down to the conference where people say we shouldn't even be. Surely.
Yeah.
Well, but then KG, to say your same thing, you say look at the players. You just cussed out the players and said, "Oh shit, they are."
I know, no, but
so they're not going to do it. Then, are they?
I knew where we was. No, but the people that said that they're good enough players, they don't get to go nowhere.
Oh, well,
we're keeping score.
Yeah. That's the point.
We're keeping score. That's what I'm talking about.
Like I'm looking at Jason Wilcox. Forget the fans. I'm looking at Jason Wilcox. You blew up because we had good 45 minutes in a back 4 against Newcastle. That's what blew this whole thing up. That we had a good 45 minutes against Newcastle, blew this whole thing up. So I want to see, why did that back 4 not work against Burnley? Why did that back 4 not work against Brighton? I want to look at him, forget the fans, and say, Jason Wilcox, you said a back 4 was what Amorim needed to do for us to achieve our season goals. So we're going to play a back 4 now. We've hired a back 4 manager. You better fucking pray we get 6th place or better.
Yes. Or your head's on the chopping block.
Yes, agreed.
And that's where I'm saying, Sir Jim, I challenge you, Sir Jim, to keep that bad man energy. Where is it? Why are you letting these guys, who are your chief decision makers, take the piss out of you then? Where is it? So there's just two quick things before we end the show, guys. This one here, totally fair to ask all the panelists to state what the expectation is post Amorim. Okay, very, very quickly, because I've got to get the last super chat and we'll wrap up. James, Michael Carrick. All right, KG, you're saying Conference League.
Yeah, I'll stick with KG. If we get 8th, I think he's a success. If we get 8th, I think he's succeeded. Now, given
out of everything, one game a week. One game a week is so overrated.
Yeah. Because of the chaos. Because of the chaos. Yeah.
Because of the chaos.
I would have expected more for Amorim. I'm lowering my expectations for Carrick.
Yeah, you have to.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah, you have to.
To 8th.
A totally unenjoyable and asthma-inducing European flea. I don't know what part of Europe, but somewhere in there. And then heads must roll in the summer, no matter what. Either players or board, heads must roll.
Yeah. The 8th shout at best is good, because I'm not expecting him to get Europe now. I'm not.
No.
I'm not. I think with the chaos, like you said, no disrespect to Michael Carrick as well. Coming in at that level, he's done with us, bro. He's coming out the cold in the Man United job. Anything, and then obviously anything other than that is a bonus where you go, I can't believe he. And then there's obviously the thing of he knows he's definitely not going to get it. So it's not like go on a good run, get Europe, give him a 3-year deal. Do you know what I'm saying? Which I still don't trust Ineos. Do we all trust Ineos that? If Michael Carrick went on a good run, we don't trust that. So
I don't trust me.
That's terrifying.
Exactly.
Terrifying.
Yeah, exactly. Michael says, lads, I'm currently in the mindset of us being just dead as a club and it continuing this way until these current owners are gone. They're just incapable. I echo that. The realist says, so Flex, please tell me which manager is adequate enough to come in and make these players top 4 contenders. You just Carrick isn't adequate. So who is?
You just said Carrick isn't adequate. So who is?
Yeah, and that's that. But that's what I'm saying. Within the position that we're in now, where it's difficult to get somebody now. That's why I'm aligning my expectations to what is realistic. I don't think it's realistic for somebody to come in now, which is what I was saying, to come in and just do that. Obviously, if you can get one of the top managers, which we can't, then you can. You know, especially with one game a week. If you get organized and get onto it, you maybe could. Yeah, man. Big up. KG's out of here. We're finishing off in 2 secs as well. Ban to Cod says Amorim was incompetent and also on the list of several incompetent decisions made by Wilcox and the rest of the incompetent board. C1K says you would be top 4 with Rashford. There you go to finish off.
We didn't finish with him. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone's basically saying no manager can help us out with the same players. So that's why I'm saying, is anyone not listening to me? That's what I'm saying.
They don't.
I've just said
they hear what they want to hear, bro.
That's why we can't do it. I didn't think we could do it with Ruben. It doesn't mean he should still be here. How difficult is that to understand? I get it. We have to wait till the summer to get a real life manager. And I want the real life manager to be proper. I want it to be Tuchel. I want it to be Enrique. I want it to be someone of, but it's probably gonna be a De Zerbi, a Areola, or maybe Glad. It's gonna be one of those type of guys, I think. So let's see. Let's see. You know what I'm saying? But I prefer thinking about it now. Would I have preferred Carrick to Ollie? I was less certain on that when it was going to be Ollie the other day. I was thinking more, well, Ollie has experience of actually being an interim here. So do you go off that? But then when you actually think about it, with that bad and it doesn't matter, it's probably just better to just try something you ain't tried before. But I don't know. I don't care. Like, I don't know. I'm not expecting anything. I'm really not. Guys, big up, man. It's been the red carpet. Smash a like, man, on the video on the way out. Big up, Dev. Big up, James. Big up, KG. We'll go again in the morning. Yeah, we go again.
Tough times.
Yeah. Team Nathan says, guys, you see really trying to join the coaching staff. Yeah, he said absolutely.
Yeah, his brother instead, man.
We know. We
get John Rooney. That's who I wanted.
Guys, City next, then Arsenal.
Oh, don't.
See you tomorrow morning.